Good morning, dear friends. I have grave news. As you might know, I have been fined for not wearing a mask in the tram. The fine was, I didn't know it back then when I made the other video. I know it now. The fine is 240 euros. Also, I have to say that I'm a student and that's a lot of money for me, but, well, that's another story. The reason I'm making this video is because, well, something happened that makes me very worried about the future of this country. Now, I've been watching alternative sources of information regarding COVID since a long time, because I don't buy any of the trash that is publicized in the mainstream media in Germany right now. The scary thing is that a lot of those sources are absolutely right. They have predicted everything that has happened and everything that our politicians have done. So first came the masks. New rules came. You couldn't go buy food without a mask anymore. I couldn't buy food without a mask. I couldn't travel without a mask. And back then I thought, what a terrible curtailment of my freedom. But everyone was scared and still is scared because apparently their grandparents are in danger. Yeah, there are a lot of grandparents dying in Germany right now. Actually not, no one is dying from corona. When I was given the fine in the tram, I asked the policeman when this will be over, and they answered when there is a vaccine. The online sources told something like, be careful, your freedom is taken away bit by bit. There's a pattern in the behavior of your government. First, they will make new laws about corona. They will make them mandatory. They will force you to put on masks. But their long-time goal is to make you dependent. Germany has ordered 80 million badges of the Oxford vaccine. The Oxford vaccine was originally developed by a company that is financed by Bill Gates. The Oxford vaccine circumvented the ordinary, let's call it, official way of developing a vaccine. Normally you need at least 5 years to bring a vaccine on the market because certain steps have to be undertaken. You have to test the vaccine on animals. After some time you can test it on humans. If the results are good enough, you can sell it on the market. The problem with this vaccine is that instead of serial development, they made it parallel. So they reduced the duration of the testing phase of this vaccine from at least 5 years to a few months. The funny thing is that the creators of this vaccine have documented its side effects. For example, 70% of people showed negative side effects, like getting sick from the vaccine. 70%. And 45% or so have shown a tremendous weakening of the immune system from the vaccine for a certain period of time. The source for this information you will find in the description. It's a video of Clemens Arve. He's a biologist and very educated on the subject. Now we know that Germany has ordered 80 million badges for this vaccine, which is very dangerous. What is our government going to do with 80 million badges of vaccine? Well, you don't have to be smart to understand that they want to vaccinate everyone in this country. Everyone. If you don't want a vaccine that makes you sick, with a certainty of 70%, probably you will, well, for sure you're first an extremist. Germans love to call people extremists. And second, well, the second is a big problem. What could be second? Could it be that you are not allowed to work without a vaccine? And third, could it be that you will make yourself dependent if you take this vaccine? Dependent on people like Bill Gates or other people in the government, like Jens Spahn, our health minister. He seems to be happy with the events unfolding. I find this very unsettling. My government decides that Corona is dangerous enough that it can curtail, well, all human rights if you do not comply with their rules that they have newly created. I hope, well, actually, I stopped hoping. I don't believe that there's any doubt that they will just force you to take the vaccine, that they will just force companies to give proof that their employees have this vaccine. And the funny thing is that the extremist people on the internet have predicted all of it. They've predicted the vaccine. The next thing that they're predicting is, well, electronic IDs. You will not be able to do anything in Germany if you did not take the vaccine. Now, there seems to be resistance from the population. I have hope because more and more Germans are waking up to this nonsense. Far too few, though, to bring, well, real change. There is controversial information about the resistance the population is engaging in. You might have heard about the demonstrations in Berlin. The mainstream media is saying that 20,000 people have demonstrated in Berlin against the corona regulations. Other sources say that it had been 1 to 2 million people demonstrating against the corona regulations. So that would be maybe 2% of the population. I hope that there's enough resistance towards our government because our freedom is disappearing by the day. What do you want to do? Germany is becoming a pharmaceutical dictatorship. What can you do about it? Well, the only thing you can think of is making a video about it and making you aware of it. Maybe it will change something. We have a big problem in Germany. Politicians are not held accountable for what they do. I feel that a big part of people who deeply care for the future of this country just left politics because it is such a mess in Germany. I want to give you 2 examples. Jens Spahn is our health minister. After it became apparent that corona is not dangerous at all, he was asked why these regulations were necessary in the first place. And he answered that he didn't know, and it was impossible to know at a time when they assumed that corona was dangerous. And he did not take any responsibility for the things that he has done. And another example is Angela Merkel. A journalist asked Angela Merkel why she did not pursue the goals that she promised to fulfill before the election. And she answered, "You cannot expect that a politician keeps his word after an election. That is what the face of Germany, Angela Merkel, said." Can you imagine what that means? She admitted to lying and did not take any responsibility for her promises. Can you imagine what it does to a young person that looks up to a person like Angela Merkel, a young girl that wants to go into politics? Can you imagine what it does to her? What does it teach? Lies are okay. The truth doesn't matter. As long as you can trick someone in believing you in the first place, the aftermath is irrelevant. That's what it's teaching young people. And that is the head of state. How can we expect anything of people who lie openly in the public and who are not being held accountable for it? In the politics, these people have a responsibility. I don't know, with those sort of people, I don't know how there can be any good future for Germany. I still hope that people will wake up to this nonsense. Does the German population want a dictatorship? I hope not. Well, the only thing I can do is share this information and hope it gets around enough so that these things don't happen. Anyway, thank you for watching.